Hi Year 5, Mrs Brown here. I hope you're all doing really well at home. It's lovely to be recording this message for you. We've got some science for you this week, and as you know, I love science, and the kind of science I like in particular is messy science and noisy science. So we've got a few little 5-minute experiments for you to try out at home this week, and hopefully you'll have lots of fun doing them. Now, as you've probably spotted, I've got a couple of helpers with me today. I've got Baby Brown in here that's going to help me out, and I've got Mr Brown that's going to who's going to film these little videos for you, and I hope you really enjoy them. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so this first little experiment, I'm sure you've all done it before, but it's one of our favourites. It's got lots of different names. You could call it orrible ooze, or gruesome gunge, or silly slime, that sort of thing. Give it its own name. And this is what you'll need. You'll need a nice empty clean bowl. The main ingredient is the corn flour. You'll need some water. I've got mine here in a jug. And you need a spoon to do the mixing at the beginning. And I'm also going to use some green food colouring because I like to make my slime nice and brightly coloured. And this is what we do. So we take a spoon, doesn't matter what size spoon you use, I'm going to use a dessert spoon. And you want about three big spoons of corn flour into your bowl. It's only rough amounts, so you don't need to measure it exactly or accurately. You can just shove some in there. Then I'm going to mix in lots of lovely green food colouring to make it a nice bright colour, because when I make gunge I like to make it look fantastic. So I'm going to mix that in with my spoon. Now your corn flour won't change colour to begin with, that's okay, just mix it in a little bit, and then you can start adding the water. Now you don't want to pour it all in at once. Just do a little bit at a time, perhaps a spoonful at a time. Give it a mix and you'll start to see your food colouring come through and change the colour of the mixture. I'm going to do another tablespoon. Give it another mix here. Now it might be a bit tricky to mix, and that's where the science comes in, so that's exciting. Keep giving it a mix, slowly. Take another spoonful here. You'll start to see your slime or your gunge coming together. Now keep slowly adding your water, spoonful by spoonful, until you end up with a consistency like this. Now you should have something that rolls around the bowl and looks like a liquid here. And when you pick it up with your hands, you should start feeling the science happen, so it should be able to drip through your fingers like nice gungy goo. But as you know, I'm sure from doing this before, if you punch it or if you pick it up, start to roll it in your hands, you can even create a gunge ball or model or statue and start moulding it. And look what happens. As soon as you release the pressure, it will ooze off of your hands again. Okay. So once you have your lovely gungy mixture in your bowl, now the fun can begin. Start having a little play around with it. See if you can hold it and add enough pressure to be able to mould something in your hands, perhaps a ball, or perhaps even you could be creative and try and make some kind of shape. You can roll it into a sausage, let it drip through. And this is where you need to put your science thinking caps on and start thinking, what is actually happening? What's going on here? Now, I'll give you a little clue. It's got something to do with the starch particles in the corn flour and also the water molecules as well, and how those are reacting against each other when you add the pressure with your hands. So you can see that it's very different, isn't it? When you're holding it firmly in your hands and it becomes almost like a solid, and then when you're not holding it firmly, when you're letting it loose, and it looks like a liquid, very much like a liquid dripping down there. So have a good think. What's the science behind it? What's going on? Maybe do some research online. Maybe ask an older brother or a sister or your mum and dad to see if they know what's happening. But that's a really good experiment to start thinking about and start trying to understand the science behind it. I've got some questions for you to have a think about too whilst you're playing with your slime. What happens if you push your finger into the slime and then drag it through the slime or the gunge slowly? What happens if you do it slowly? Do it again, and what happens if you try to drag your finger through it quickly? And also, another thing to leave you on, what if you were stuck in a gruesome, gungy river that was something like this? It was all the way up to your knees and you were stuck in there. You had no boat, you had no one around you, you had to find your way out. What would you do? What would your easiest way of getting out of a gruesome, gungy river like this be? Have a think and share your ideas on your Google Classroom to let us know your thoughts. I'll see you later.